Hello everyone, in this video we are going to learn the basics of algebra. Basically we will be focusing on the factorization and the quadratic equation and the methods to solve the quadratic equation. So we will start our lecture by solving a simple example. Let's say in paper you may ask you 6x minus 6 and x minus 7, expand and simplify. Expand and simplify. Okay, so first we need to expand the brackets. So this is the one type of question. So how we can expand? First we take the x and we multiply with both of these numbers, and then we take y, then we take 6 and multiply it with both numbers. Okay, this is how you can open the bracket. So x times x is x square, then x times 7 is 7x, and plus minus is minus, then minus 6 multiplied by x minus 6x, and then minus 6 plus minus minus, this minus will multiply with this minus, it will become positive. And most of the student made the sign of this, made mistake in this sign, so make sure you do it correctly. When you multiply this minus 6 and minus 7, you will get plus 42, right? Because 6 7 the 42. So now we can know, we can see that these two can be solved. So x square minus 13x, 7 and 6 will make 13x plus 42. So this is the simple question that could be asked in the question in the paper P1. Let's say we have a second type of equation. Let's say we have this type of question, x square minus 16. This is the most repeated question in the exam. So how we can and it is written that factorize it, but we are not given with any formula or any type of information. It's just written factorize it. So how we can solve this? This is very easy to identify this question. Now you can see that both these number, x can be written as, x square can be written as like this, and 16 can be written as like 4 square. Now you can see that both numbers has square on them, this and this number has square on them, and we have minus between them. Both numbers have square in the form of square, and they have, if they have minus between them, then you can write them in one time in positive and one time in negative. So I can write it as x minus 4 and x plus 4. How we can identify this question? This is the simple rule. If the two numbers, if the first number is can be written as the square and the second number can also be written as the square, and in between they must have the minus, then you can write it one time as positive and one time as negative. If they don't have the negative between them, then you cannot apply this identity. Okay, so let's say if we have another question, let's say we have 16y square minus 25. Okay, now you can see that 16 can be written as 4y square and 25 can be written as 5 square. So it is fulfilling our requirement. Both numbers are in the form of square and they have minus between them, so it's quite simple. You will write one time as positive and one time as negative. Okay, the other question they could ask, let's say if we have 9 over 4 x square minus 25. Okay, so now they ask us to factorize this question. Okay, so we use the same rule. Now you can see that 9 can be written as 3 over 2x. All of these number can be written in the form of square. 9 is the square of 3, 4 is the square of 2. So 9, 3 over 2x square minus, and 25 can be written as 5 square. Now again it's fulfilling our requirement. Both numbers are in the form of square and they have minus between them. So this is the simple rule, with both numbers are in the squared form and they have minus between them. So you can write it as one time as positive, and this is the positive one. It doesn't matter if you write the positive first and the negative second, both have the same meaning. Okay, so this is the answer. This is the one type of factorization. In the paper they could ask you to factorize it. If they have minus between them and the square, then you have to do this. Let's say if we have another type of question, mm, 4x square plus 16y square, and again it is written as factorize it. Okay, now you can see that the first thing you need to notice that you don't have the minus sign between them. Okay, you don't have the minus, so it means that they are not to be, they cannot be written as one time positive and one time negative. Okay, so what else we can do, we can just take common, we can take 2 common. So if you take 2 common from the 4x square, so it will become 2x square plus 8y square. So this is what you can do. And no, we can also, we can take 4 as the common, because 4 is the maximum common that we can take. So this will become x square plus 4y square. Okay, so this type of question they could ask. Okay, so these are the two type of factorization. Let's say the third type of factorization they may ask you in the exam is, we have question is factorize x square minus 13x plus 36. So that's quite simple. Now you can identify that this is the quadratic equation. How we can see that this is the quadratic equation? This has the highest power of 2, this has the highest power of 2, this is the highest power 2, and whenever equation has the highest power of 2, we can say that it is the quadratic equation. Now we have to factorize it, so it means that we have to use the midterm break method. So how we can solve this? So what you have to follow the same step. The first step is multiply the first digit with the last digit. So what will you get? You will get 36 plus 36, right? Now the middle one is, write the middle one, whatever is written in the middle, that is minus 13x, that is minus 13. You don't need to write the variables, you can do it without the variable. Okay, before solving this question you must be clear about this thing. Your quadratic equation must be written in the form of standard form, right? The first term should be x square, the second term will be x, and with the third term which should not have any x value with it, right? This is x square, this is x, and this is simple. If it is in the y square, this should be y square, this is should be y, and this should be simple term. It doesn't have any x or y with it. Okay, so now what we can do, now we have to think about two digits. When you multiply them, they should give you 36, and when you add or subtract them, you should get 13. By adding or subtracting you should get 13, and by multiplying you should get 36. So let's say if I take 18 and 2, when I multiply them I will get 36, but if I add them I get 20, and if I subtract them I will get 16. So it's not fulfilling my requirement, because when we add them or subtract them we cannot get 13, so this is not possible. And what else we can do, we can think about 6 times 6, it's give 36. When you add 6 and 6 you will get 12, but we need 13, so this is not also possible, this is not possible. So now we think about 9 and 4, plus 9 and plus 4. You also need to think about the signs as well. So plus 9 and plus 4 will give you 36, and if you add them, plus 9 and plus 4, you will get 13. But in the question you can see that we need minus 13. So what we can do, we can take minus 9 minus 4, and this will give you, still give you the minus 36 plus 36. So I am taking minus 9 and minus 4. When you multiply it, you will get 36, and when you add them, minus 9 minus 4, you will get minus 13, right? So this is according to our requirement, it's giving 36, and it's when you add subtract them it's giving minus 13. Okay, this is what we need to think about. Then what we can do, you can just write the first term as it is, the last term as it is. Okay, and the middle term you should write whatever you have written over here, minus 9, but with variable, whatever variable is. If it is x you should write x, and if it has y you will write y, minus 4x. then the second step, you need to take common from the first two terms and need to take common from the second two terms. So in the first two terms we have the common x, so x minus 9 inside the bracket. Now in the second two terms we have a common minus 4, so this will give you x minus 9. Okay, so if you have done so far correctly, then these two terms will be same. Okay, so one thing you may notice, why I have taken minus 4 common, why I cannot take plus 4 as a common, because let's say if I take my plus 4 common, then this sign will be positive because this has the positive, so it's x plus 9. Then but then these two terms will not be same because this one is x minus 9, and then if we have taken x 4 as a common plus 4, then this will be x plus 9. So in order to make them equal, that's why I have taken minus 4 as a common. When you take minus as a common, the this sign will change, right? So now this will become, now you can write x minus 9 and x minus 4. So this is the factorization of this, right? And let's solve another question in which we have the same type of question. This is the same type of factorization. Let's say if we are given with n square minus 3n minus 18. Okay, now we have to factorize it. Okay, so now we use the same rule, multiply the first digit with the last digit. As the first digit is 1, so 18's time 1 is minus 18, because this 18 is negative, and the middle digit is minus 3. Now you need to think about the two digits. When you multiply them, they should give you minus 18, and when you plus and subtract, add or subtract them, they must give you the minus 3. Okay, let's say if I take, we know that 6 times 3 is 18. Let's say if I take plus 6 and minus 3, when you multiply them you will get minus 18. Now let's say if you add them, plus 6 minus 3, what will you get? You will get plus 3, because we take the sign of bigger value when we adding or subtracting them. So it means that, but our requirement is we need some digits that should give the minus 3, but now we are getting the positive 3. So what we can do, we can just change the sign. Let's say if I take minus 6 and plus 3, then I will get minus 3, and when I multiply them, I still get the plus 18, minus 18. So this is our required two digits. Okay, now the first digit, first term as it is x square, the last term as it is, and the middle term now will become minus 6x plus 3x. Okay, now we have to take the common from the first two terms and the last two terms. So in the first two terms we have the x common, so the inside of the bracket will be x minus 6. In these two terms we have to take common 3 as a common. 3 common, if we take the 3 as a common, then it will become x minus 6. Now you can see that we don't need to we still, this value is minus 6 and this value should be minus 6, so that's why we are taking plus 3 as a common. If I need x plus 6 over here, then I need to take minus 3 as a common, but now we don't need to change the sign, so that's why we are taking plus 3 as a common, right? So this is the point which you need to focus. Now x plus 3 and x minus 6, this is your answer. This is the another type of factorization. These are the two type of factorization they can ask you in the exam. And let's say if they ask you to first we have the question, they ask you to factorize it. Okay, now we have the same question, but the question statement is solve x square minus 3x minus 18 is equal to 0. Now we are given this equation, x square minus 3x minus 18 is equal to 0. Now we have to solve. So whenever you see the word of solve in any equation, it means you have to find value of x. Okay, when or they may ask you factorize it, but whenever you have the sign of equal to and then 0, then you have to find the value of x. So you will do the same procedure. So after doing the same step, we get the final x plus 3 and x minus 6. is equal to 0. Now you put them again separately equal to 0. X plus 3 is equal to 0, x minus 6 is equal to 0, so x is equal to minus 3 and x is equal to 6. You will do the same step, and after getting these two steps you will put them equal to 0 separately, then you can get the value of x and y. Okay, so they may ask you the question like this. Let's say if they ask you to solve it by using the quadratic formula. Now solve equation by using quadratic formula. Okay, now we will use they have mentioned that you have to use the quadratic formula, so we will be using a quadratic formula in order to solve the equation. The equation is x square minus 3x minus 18. X square minus 3x minus 18 is equal to 0. And first of all, whatever is written with the x square, it is the value of a, so a is equal to 1. Whatever is written with the x is the value of b, that is minus 3. You need to mention the sign, and the value of c is minus 18. Don't forget to write the sign. Okay, now we just need to write the formula. We know you need to learn this formula because it will not be given in the paper. Minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac over 2a. This is the formula which you need to learn, because whenever you get the question like this, you have to write this formula by yourself. They are not going to give you this formula in the exam. Okay, now what you need to do, you just need to place the value in this formula and nothing else. And x is equal to minus, and what is the value of b is minus 3. And you can notice that this minus is coming from the formula. Okay, and this minus 3 is the value of b, then plus minus 3 and then under root. Don't forget to put bracket over here, minus 3 square, because if you don't put the bracket you will get the different answer. If you put the bracket, either you are writing on the paper or on the calculator, you must put the bracket over here, otherwise you will get the different answer. Then minus 4, a value of a is 1 and c is minus 18. Okay, and over 2 times a, 2 times 1. Okay, the key point in this step is don't forget to put bracket over here. Okay, because if you don't put the bracket you will not get the right answer. So now we just need to solve it. This minus and this minus will multiply, so this will become positive 3 plus minus minus 3 square. If you put this minus 3 square on the calculator you will get minus 9. That is incorrect. If you put bracket around it you will get 9, so this is the correct version. So that's why that's why we have to put the bracket. So if we are not putting the bracket you will not get the right answer. So 9. And the other mistake that mostly students make is that they don't multiply these two signs, because all of these quantities are being multiplied. You can see that 4 is multiplying with 1 and 18, so they will give you a single quantity, right? And this minus is being multiplied with this minus, so that's why minus minus will give you the plus. This is the most common mistake most of the students make. And 4 times 1 is 1, 4 times 4. Now you can put all of these quantities on the calculator directly, or you can, if you want to multiply it by hand, you can. So 4 times 18 is I think 72. Let me check. 4 times or if you directly put it in calculator, just like minus 4 into 1 into minus 18, you will get 72. 4 times 18, 72. The key point in the last step was don't forget to put the bracket and don't forget to multiply these signs, because if you don't multiply the sign, you what will you get? You will get minus at this place, a minus at this place. If you get the minus at this place, so you will not get the answer. So 9 plus 72 over 2, so 3 plus minus 9 plus 72 is 81 and 2. So okay, how you can figure out you are doing correctly, because if you put minus over minus at this place, your answer will be negative in the under root. Whenever you get negative value inside the under root, it means that you have done something wrong in the previous step. So you can recheck and then do the calculation again, because it's not possible to get the negative value inside the bracket, inside the under root, not the bracket. If you get minus value inside the under root, it's mean that you are doing something wrong. So you have to check the values calculation again until unless you get the positive value inside the under root. Need to notice inside the under root, right? Okay, then now we know that 3 plus minus under root 81 is 9 over 2. Now what we need to do, we just need to write for one time as positive 3 plus 9 over 2, and one time as negative 3 minus 9 over 2. We are just changing the sign of 9. 9 has the plus minus, so this is the positive 9 and this is the negative 9, and the remaining quantities are same, 3 over 2 and 3 over 2. Okay, now 3 plus 9 over 2 is 12 over 2, so 12 over 2 is 6, and 3 minus 9 over 3 minus 9 is minus 6 over 2, so get minus 3. So we got the answer 6 and minus 3. Either you solve the quadratic equation by the quadratic formula, or by the midterm break, you will get the same answer. In the previous method we have the same answer, minus 3 and 6. In this method we still get the same question, minus 3 and 6. These are the questions they could ask you in the paper. And one thing they more ask about in the algebra is write in the single fraction. Let's say if we are given with this question, x plus 1, let's say x over x plus 1 plus 2 over x plus 3 is equal to 5, and they ask you to write in single fraction. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to write it in the single fraction. So what we can do, we take the LCM on this side. Okay, so the LCM will be these two terms, this one x plus 1 and x plus 3. So x plus 1 and x plus 3, this is our LCM. Now this term will multiply this one, and this term will multiply with this one. So x into that we do with the cross multiplication, x into x plus 3 plus 2 into x plus 1. This is the main step. You need to notice that after writing the LCM, what will you do, you will multiply this term with this term. So we'll write x into this term, and then whatever the sign is given, you will put the sign over here, then 2 into this term. You need to write the opposite terms. Okay, is equal to 5. Now you just need to multiply x inside the bracket, it will become x square plus 3x plus 2x plus 2 over x plus 1 over x plus 3 is equal to 5. So this will become x square 5x plus 2 over x square. We need to multiply the denominator as well, we need to open the bracket. So this will become x square plus 3x plus x plus 3. You can see how I multiplied them. So this is the simple. So x square plus 5x plus 2 over x square plus 4x plus 3 is equal to 5. Now you can cross multiply. Now we have the single term, single fraction on this side and single fraction on this side. Now you can cross multiply. So x square plus 5x plus 2 will be multiplied with 1 and then equal sign, and 5 will be multiplied with x square plus 4x plus 3. Okay, so if they ask you to write in the single fraction, then you can leave your question over. This is your answer. If they ask you to solve, then you have to do these steps. If they ask you to only write in the single fraction, then you can leave this answer. This is your answer. If they ask you to solve this question, solve for the value of x, then you need to go all of these steps which I am doing now. So x square plus 5x plus 2 is equal to 5x square. Now we 5 multiply inside the bracket plus 20x plus 15. Now we need to shift all of the values or all of the quantities on one side of the equation. So 5x square plus 20x plus 15 minus, all of the quantities will become negative, x square minus 5x minus 2. So now on this side we have negative, we have 0, so we have 5x square minus x square, it will become 4x square, then 20x minus 5x, it will become 15x, and then plus 15 and minus 2, it will become plus 13 is equal to 0. And then what you can do, you can use the quadratic formula to solve this equation, then you will get the value of x. I don't know, I think it will not factorize, but we can solve it by, whenever when you cannot factorize the equation, then you have to use the quadratic formula. So we can use the quadratic formula to solve this one, so as we did in the last step. So this is all about the algebra. In the next video we will do some practice question relevant to this topic.